Okay. Hi guys. So I was kind of thinking that we do something a little bit different today. So instead of just playing a game or doing something else, I thought it'd be fun to kind of sketch out some cos plans that I have, some RL cos plans. I think the timeline's a little bit tight because we do have. Oof. Okay, I think we only have like uh I'll say a month. A month's quite generous, honestly. I'm gonna say 3 weeks. We'll say 3 weeks, and then so we have time to do any final adjustments before the cosplay festival for like another week or so. It's been quite a while since I've done any form of sewing too, so I think that's gonna be a little bit troublesome. Could take a while to kind of plan out what I want. Sorry. I'm gonna be moving around a little bit to try and figure stuff out. Screen might be a little bit scuffed, but you know what? That's okay. I just bumped the mic. I'm so sorry. All right. So what I have here today is Procreate on my iPad, and I have it set up to stream to OBS and an OBS to Twitch. So that's quite exciting. That's quite exciting. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be looking at Tales of Arise references. So I have the reference pictures I think on my monitor right now. So the setup's kind of a little bit scuffed. So I have my iPad in front of me, right? I have one screen. That screen's kind of split in half. I have OBS on one side, with all the Twitch stuff, stream chat, so I can catch up when you guys talk and whatever. On the other side, right, I kind of have I'd say 24 tabs or so, 24 tabs or so, to kind of just look at a whole bunch of reference pictures of Shion and then what's his name, Alphen. So I think the first thing that we're gonna look at is I'll run through what I already have, I think, so far, and then after that kind of sketch out really roughly, because I don't really do this very often. Hi guys, welcome to chat. Thanks so much for joining. I'm gonna take some time to kind of run through what I've already done, I think, for now. And then after that, I'm going to take some time to kind of... Okay, wait, let me... Sorry. So right now, what I have done is I've done Shion's gun. Like, I have plans for that. And I think all I need now is to go order and then collect EVA foam in order to kind of make it, right? And I'll need a call. I'll explain all of that in detail later. So I've got that done. I need to figure out how to make a glowing sword. So I've never done that before. I've never made anything glow. I've never played with lights. I've made props. I've just never, done lights or anything. So I think that'll be pretty exciting. The bit that I'm a little bit more worried about is Shion has this massive, like, poofy dress. Ignoring the fact that this is really badly cropped, I think you can kind of see it here. I was using this for scale. So you can kind of see it goes... Let me just pick a brighter color. You can kind of see it. It's kind of corset style, I think. Kind of goes this way, swoops down. This is where it connects to the dress, and then the skirt itself kind of goes back and out really nicely, back and out, and then front, and it's a high front, low back. I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure there's an actual name for it, but that's okay. So it's kind of go to the front, expose your legs a little bit, jagged edges all the way down to the back. So I need to figure out how to do that. I think you could do just a regular skirt, like circle skirt. Kind of the dresses that kind of look like this, and then they go back and front, basically. And what you're going to do is, instead of having the full circumference, which is what you do, and then you would sew it like this, so it kind of forms a little cone. It makes sense mathematically. What you would do is, I think you would just kind of cut out a little bit of the center. I have some extra cloth, I think, with me, so I might try that out later or tomorrow. So when you sew it, it kind of becomes shorter at the front, longer at the back. I think that's something that we could consider. Yeah. So goals for today. I want to try and sketch out, I think, the different layers that I might need for Shion's skirt specifically. The problem is I don't know what material I want to make it out of yet. So I'm going to go to like a little textile area tomorrow. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for joining. We're just planning cosplays. So I'm gonna go to the little fabric and textile area tomorrow, and I think we're gonna go have a look and just see like what they recommend. Because I assume that if the skirt needs to be this puffy, first of all, obviously there's layers. I think I'll get some tulle to kind of fluff up the bottom, so you just have like little underskirts made out of really fluffy material, right? And then kind of just ruffle it like this. So you'd wear that kind of under the skirt. Don't mind that. You kind of wear it under the skirt to fluff out the back. I'm not sure how you'd fluff out the back without fluffing out the front, but I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it. So we'll need to layer that. I definitely need tulle, I think. That's Tulle, right? Yeah, pretty sure I can spell. So we'll definitely have to get that. I'll probably go and ask like the fabric store owners or whatever, kind of what they'd recommend for the skirt itself. I want the fabric to be a little bit stiff, but not so stiff that it loses all of its swish. It needs to be stiff enough so that it can kind of hold its own, so that it won't crease super easily, I think, if I move around in it. But not so stiff that it kind of looks plastic, which I think, unfortunately, a lot of pre-made cosplays tend to look. They tend to look a little bit shiny, I think. That's the best way to put it. Putting it nicely, a lot of pre-made cosplays look quite shiny. I don't think that's a problem. This is her alternate outfit, though. We have to recognize that. This is her alternate outfit. Her primary outfit is white. So I think a lot of creases and a lot of kind of defects in sewing or mistakes in sewing, for example, become a lot more obvious when it's white. Because, it's just a very clean color in general. So anything that's off kind of becomes very noticeable. All right, so we're going to plan out the skirt. She has little bits of armor on her. I think. Yeah, so she has the shoulder things. What are shoulder things called? Oh my gosh. The pauldrons, yes. Sorry. She does have her pauldrons with her. And those things look absolutely massive. So we're going to need to think about that as well. So what we need to plan out is these pauldrons, I think the breastplate, and then the little V-shaped thing that kind of goes down her chest, right? And then, oh wait, this is probably better. And then the things that kind of hug her waist, and then go around her waist towards the front of the skirt, right? Is this fan art? I think this is fan art. You know what? It works because I'm pretty sure they're following like the original model, so that's fine. The thing that I've noticed is that the front of her skirt does look like there's a lot more ruffles in the front. Yeah, it does look like there's a lot more ruffles in the front of the skirt. So I'm wondering, is it all the same material, or hold on, let me just save this image and just kind of sketch over it. Let me just save a bunch of these images and then just kind of sketch over all of them all at once. I think this is a spoiler warning. Now I have to say I haven't actually played the game, so I'm not liable for any spoilers that you guys face here specifically. Oh, this is good. It's a DeviantArt thing though, so I'm not sure if it's official, but I'll take anything I can get at this point. Yeah, in order to make the problem with high front, low back skirts is that unless you have like really, really nice legs, sometimes it can look a little bit off, which I acknowledge. And I think in order to counter that, to give the illusion that you have really long legs, what could help is if you kind of just, how do I describe it? What could help is if you just have high-heeled shoes, high-heeled boots, whatever you'd want to wear. That could help a lot more. Yeah. Let me just, yeah, I think the breastplate is something that I'm quite curious about. I don't really work with foam. I must admit, I don't really work with foam. I work a lot more with wood when making props. That's a problem because things become really heavy really fast. Hi guys, thank you for joining chat. Also lace on the arms. Lace is just uncomfy. Like 0 out of 10 experience, But you know what? We need to kind of get used to that. We need to kind of get used to that in order to just live with it. So let me just show you what I've already done. So I think in some of my free time when I was procrastinating doing other things, what I did do is I obviously took the time to go and measure out how long I think her gun would be in order to make it look proportionate and kind of cool when she's holding it, or rather when I'm holding it. So this is what I've come up with. If you can see, the black outline I think is where the primary body is, and everything in purple after that is what I would consider, I think, the highlights of the gun. So, okay, I'm trying a new like kind of screen sharing thing, so I'm not entirely sure if all the details captured. It looks like it's captured on OBS, but if it's not and you want to like zoom in or something, just let me know. So I think the gun here, you can see kind of the... Should I make a copy of it before? I should make a copy of it before I draw on it. I think that's... I'd just die if I ruined it now. Okay, so this is very exciting stuff. Very excited to try working with the new material. So I took a lot of inspiration from, I think, Kamui Cosplay. They do a lot of huge builds, a lot of like LEDs, fancy stuff. But they have like an entire series, I think, on YouTube where they teach you how to do foam weapons. So that was super useful. Yeah. I really appreciate that. I think how simple it was when they taught you how to, I think, sketch out the plans and how to scale stuff and then print it out. So I do have a hard copy of this lying somewhere around my room. So when I get around to getting the foam, I think I'll be able to transfer it and cut it out layer by layer quite easily. So looking at this, I think the first thing that I would do is this should be one piece of PVC pipe. Okay, you know what, this works. This is one piece of PVC pipe on the top, and then the second part would be, I think I can get away with one, basically it'll be one long piece. Don't mind the fact that it is kind of scuffed right now. It will be one long piece. I'll just use like the heat gun that I have, I think, in order to bend it right here. And when I bend it right here, what's going to happen is, obviously when it cools down, it'll kind of solidify a little more. And I'll have a very lightweight core that I can wrap stuff around, that I can kind of layer foam around, cut out the middle portion, layer foam around, and get like a good gun shape that I can then shave down using, I think, probably pen knives. I have X-Acto blades, I'm not entirely sure where. So, and then after that, I'll use really thin pieces of foam. I'm talking like 1 mm, 1.5 mm. I don't know what's that in inches, but like thin, really thin. And then I'll go in with that in order to make, I think, the really nice purple details here. Oops. Like here. Obviously, the whole thing's 3D, so that's going to be a bit hard. So what I'm planning on doing is I'll cut this, like for example, this piece out. I'll cut it out. Give a little bit of extra wiggle room on top, right? Like here. So that I can fold it over. So if you're looking at a cross section, this would be like the scope, I guess. And then so you would layer it here like this, for example. And then this excess bit would be the connection. And then I kind of shave off what I don't need from the top and then shape it accordingly using the X-Acto knife or using the pen knife. Yeah. That I've talked about before. So that's my plan for the gun. I think the gun is one of the easier things to make. It's just so tangible, you know, it's a finite shape. You know, I've got the measurements out. It's going to be about 54, 55 centimeters, which I think is quite proportionate when you look at how she's holding it here, especially. I could make it longer. I'll see. But the test gun that I have feels quite nice, and when you hold it, it looks quite aesthetic. It's not... Let's face it, we're doing this for the aesthetic, okay? It's not too clunky, and it doesn't look, I think, disproportionate, which is the most important thing, because anime weapons are just ridiculous. Sometimes when they're huge, you're like, oh, cool, it's huge. But how am I supposed to carry it around? How am I supposed to transport it there? Nobody knows. So I think what I have now is quite okay. Okay, so let's get into it. One thing I want to sketch out really, really roughly, because it's been a while since I've drawn stuff. One thing I kind of want to sketch out is maybe how... one thing I want to sketch out is how I want the dress to look. Okay, so my reference pictures are here. A lot of reference pictures are here. I have some white cloth, so I think number one is ask for fabric. Don't mind me, I'm using the brush that basically stabilizes a lot, so my handwriting's a little bit all over the place. More than usual, really. Okay, so I think when you look at Shion's dress, right? I think when you look at her dress, what you can see quite clearly from the start, sorry, not from the start, from the get-go, right? What you can see really clearly is all right. What you can see really clearly is that it is, if you ignore the big ass skirt at the bottom, we're gonna ignore it for now because I don't want to look at it because it's scary. Okay, so if we look at her dress, I think the one thing we can identify is the fact that it's an off shoulder, which means the bodice probably has to be a little bit more structured so the whole thing doesn't fall off when you're wearing it, right? That would be terrible and I'd be so scared. Oh, I'm so excited to make like the little necklace thing as well. Her hair is a whole other beast. I think her crown also. I have something similar, it's just not quite as tall, so I might go take a look at that when I'm free. Alright. Alright. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the official art that we have of her. Kind of drag it a little bit bigger. Okay, that's fine. And then we're going to go in and just kind of break down the different portions of her dress. So let's pick a color. Pick a color. Something that kind of stands out. Red's one of her colors. I think purple. Purple's okay. Purple's a nice color. Let's go with purple. Okay, so we go in with purple and then we can take a look at this. So I think this part of the bodice, if you're looking at it this way, it could kind of be like a little, it's basically a corset, right? It feels like it's a corset. I did look at this a while earlier. So it does feel like a corset, especially with the back here, that you can kind of do up in the back. And then you just have these as kind of ornamental decorations. Ornamental sleeves. Ornamental off-shoulder sleeves. Sure. That kind of go around her arms. So naturally, you know, her arms are, pick another color. Let's pick blue. Blue's nice. Okay, so her arms are kind of doing this. Because nobody has time to draw hands, we will give her blobs. Her arms are kind of doing this, right? Because she's a cool princess. Princess? I've never played the game. I should play the game. Somebody tell me what the game's about. I just know that Elfin's really cute. And I think Shion either really likes or really hates mushrooms. I forgot which. I'm a fan, except mushrooms are good. Right, okay. So, with this being the core, right? Let me go look at some corsets right now. With this being the core for corset, that's right. Core for corset. Okay. No, I don't need $3 shine. Corset's bound at back. Corset bodice? Maybe it's a bodice thing. Ah, okay. So what you could break it down to, maybe, is basically you have some under boob support kind of here. So this bit is wired, I think. And then you have your corset coming down this way. So you have the little, what are they called? Are they called spines? They're not called spines. I just know that they used to be made of whalebone. This isn't very helpful. I'm trying my best. Corset parts. We'll learn together. Okay, parts of a corset. Corset doesn't sound like a real word. No. Panels are the no. Waist stay. No, that's not it. Where are you? Boning. Boning? I think the corset boning? Is that it? Eto. Help. The good news is that while trying to figure out what part of a corset this is, I'm pretty sure it's the corset boning or something. Parts of a corset. Quick rundown of corset terminology from Glamorous Closet. Bones. Bones. You know what? Bones. They're bones now. They're slightly bendy bones. In the course of trying to find what the slightly bendy bones are called, I've just realized that there are guides on how to make your own corset. So that's good. That's good. What material? That is a good question. What material would a corset? Materials for a corset bodice. I saw this amazing reference just now. It was a white wedding dress. I think it's fairly similar. Let me go look at it again. Yes, yes. And then so the skirt kind of poofs out from it. So I assume the stitching is at the waistline, which is quite flattering, I think. You know, it nips in at the waist. Yeah, it nips in at the waist and then it flares out after that. All right. So we'll have the little panels here and then we'll break it down. I think. Yeah. Something like that. Maybe? Something like this. Sure. Something along these lines. One alternative I saw was instead of having it kind of come down straight across the waist like this, you could have it kind of follow the ornaments. If you see the gold here, you could kind of have it follow the ornamentation, decorations, and just have the corset end here instead. I think that would be quite interesting. But in terms of how comfy it'd be to walk with, I'm not too sure. You could do this, I think. So if we just remove this, this is how it looked like. It tucks in at the back. So I think that's pretty good. All right. So this bit is kind of going to be corset, right? So we're going to do corset bodice. Bodice. Okay. Oh my god. Aw, purple hearts. That's cute. Okay. Where was I? Thank you. Hi Till. Hi Gray. What's up, guys? Okay. What was I doing? Oh, sorry, I kind of lost it. Okay, the good news is that the booby bit, doesn't have to be super nice because it's gonna be covered up with whatever the heck this is. I can't call it a breastplate. Maybe it is supposed to be called a breastplate because that's all it covers. Anyways, we'll tackle it one layer at a time. So that's it for the bodice. I'm quite happy with this idea. So you just make a little bodice and I can hide my ugly seams here. Let me just make a new layer for seam line. Look at me being organized. I can hide my ugly seams here where they won't be visible under the... Yeah, is it an outside bra? It is an outside bra. I think one thing that I was thinking about was it would be really cool if you could just take it off because I would very much like to wash this dress. And a lot of people, I know some people have no problem with kind of hot gluing their whatever to their whatever, but I think Velcro is a nice alternative. Or, you know, just kind of washable fabric glue or something. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I think the weathering of the armor and all that, I'll leave to someone else. That is not my forte. Let me go see if I can find like a picture of the back of Shion's outfit. I think that would be good. I'm spoiling the game for myself. I think no, that's not it. Was that fate? I don't know. Don't play much fate. Yeah, let's look at character art. Character art. That is indeed what we're looking for. Oh wait, we got one. It's okay, we'll get another one. I'm very excited to make her bow at the back. I think it looks really sick. It'll be really nice. Procreate, which is just the best thing ever. Okay, let's edit our canvas. Because you can do that in Procreate. Sorry. Done. Alright. And the white's a little bit glaring, so I'm kind of going to make it in a little gray. Because gray's here. Yeah. Okay. So let's insert a photo. Let's do this. This is 3D render. Okay, it looks like a render, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll take what we can get. Goodbye, other Shion. Does this look to scale roughly? Okay, let me just very gently. I'm so sorry, I'm ruining someone's artwork. I do need references though, so I'll just lightly steal you. Nice render. Thank you for letting me take it. Not profiting, I just need a reference model. Alright, this works. So on the back, I think it kind of follows the trend that we spotted. So what we can see is there's a corset bodice here. We could follow that trend in the back as well. So what I was thinking is okay. It could just kind of go this way and then down, you know, how it meets slightly lower at the underarm, from what we've seen. And then the paneling kind of goes along the back as well. So what we could do is we could have it tied up at here, and then you knot it here where the big bow is so it's not visible. Or you could just have hooks. So kind of just, you know, like this and then like this. Haven't quite decided. You could also just have a zip. Actually, maybe a zip would be good. We could do like a zipper up here, and then we could have like a hook and a button here, just to kind of make sure things are nice and tight, so nothing falls, just in case. So you have one zipper here, and then I think there has to be one line, I think, down the underarm where the front and back meet. So there's definitely going to be one here, no question. Maybe the back panel can just be split into two. But in order to get a really nice round effect, you might want 3. So 3 might be ideal instead. And then you have your little underarm bit here. Obviously it's blocked by the arm, but you get what I mean. So to recap, I think what we're going to do is one kind of hook with a slightly stretchy fabric so you can pull on it, and one button. And then you have a zipper slightly down where you can just kind of zip up, and then I think flip the zip inwards, or just have a little bit extra fabric, to cover it like this, as it goes down, so you can hide it. But anyways, I think the cool thing about this dress is that it's so big. If you mess up like a tiny little detail, like, oh, look, this zipper slightly visible, nobody's really going to notice, just because it's you know, quite big. Like there's a lot going on, right? So it's kind of hard to assume that. Sorry, there's a lot going on, so you don't really have to worry about the little things. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. This bit shouldn't be a problem. I think when you stitch it, you can stitch it here. Sorry. You can stitch this bit here. Yep. You stitch it underneath here, and then you just flip it back out so it's not that visible. So you stitch it on you stitch it when it's inside out, basically, and you flip it out, then you iron it so it's straight. Should be fine. I think you can just add like something here to make sure that it's stiff, and then just give a little extra fabric here to give it the very gentle kind of floaty effect, because it's bunched up when it's off shoulder, which is what a lot of, I think, wedding dresses do. like off-shoulder dresses do. I just keep saying wedding dresses because dresses that are super extravagant just really tend to be a lot of wedding dresses. Also, this is white, so that's quite convenient. Right. Right, okay. So then you obviously have your other side here as well. Sorry, like this. Ah! Drew it wrongly. You get the idea, you get the idea. That's the important bit. Okay, let me just trace this bit as well so we can kind of get a better view, a better idea of what I'm talking about. Go down. Thank you. Yeah. Right. Okay. So, that's that. I'm very excited to make this. I'm contemplating whether I should make it out of foam. If it were easy to work with and sorry, if it were easy to find, I'd use Wobbler just because it's so cool and I really want to try playing with it, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere here and I don't think it'll ship to where I am like in time for this, which is super unfortunate. I forgot to tweet out that I am doing this stream. I have messed up. Give me like 3 seconds to make a tweet because I need to do that. Right. So, need to go figure out what fabric to use. Making for the corset. But I'm glad, you know, I'm glad I'm kind of doing a little list and figuring out what exactly I need because it is there's so much work to do when you think about it with no context. I think something fun that we could do is we could make the little corset piece patterned as well, like get some pattern fabric for the panels. Kind of adds to the really elaborate effect. I think it'll go with the lace that's all over her arms as well. And I'm very tempted to just not include the lace on her arms because that sounds really hot and really scratchy. But we'll see. Making a Tales of Arise. Cosplay plan on stream today. Please join. Also follow my Twitter. Same thing, Save Our Shield. Thank you. Twitch.tv/SaveOurShield. What do I tag it? Oh yeah. VTuber. Ian VTuber. Cosplans. Sick. Alright. That's done. Let me also just take some time to check if they are bots. They are. I knew it. Okay, both are bots. It's okay. That doesn't really matter. Okay, so the next bit that we're going to work on, now that we kind of have the corset more or less sorted, except this bit right here. I'm not sure if it should be pointy or if it should be flat. I need to look into it, just see how much the pointy will affect the rest of the skirt. I think just because from what I've seen, when the skirts are, when circle skirts are just generally made, it's a very solid waistline, as in it's a very flat, rounded waistline. I think that might just be easier, so if it is easier, I'll probably just do that. I only have like 3 weeks. The timeline I've given myself is 3 weeks starting the day. So hopefully I'll be able to get stuff done I'll be able to get some materials by tomorrow. I have some extra white fabric. I might do a little mock-up of the skirt tomorrow if I have time and get all the measurements right and everything and kind of get fabric for the actual thing. So I'll have one round of practice with the material that I already have. Sorry. One round of practice with material that I already have. Yes. And then one round of making the actual thing with fabric I will get tomorrow in preparation. So I don't have to run around and kind of figure out what am I supposed to do, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. So that'll be fun. I haven't been to that area in a while. Looking forward to get some fabric. Okay, let's go. Next area. Next area. We'll use the same color, or should we use a different color? Maybe we'll use a different color. All right. What's a different color? Bright green. All right. For the skirt. What I found is I could make a big circle skirt. Just a big circle skirt. It kind of goes here, kind of goes here. If it was an actual circle skirt, it would look like this, basically. Where it would be a full length thing, and it would kind of go into the back, because it will go around her fully, like this. This is a full circle skirt. But I think because hers is kind of angled up, so it gives a really cool effect, right? It's not a full circle skirt. We'll just need to modify the pattern on a circle skirt, which I can easily find online. It just needs a massive amount of fabric. If the skirt were tight, so that means it's not flowing, there's no ruffles, it just kind of goes to her ankles and around like a cone, basically, then I wouldn't need that much fabric. But the problem is that because it is swishy, you can see all these like really fine details here, like the sheer number of ruffles around the edges and the big ruffles all over here. I'm gonna need quite a bit of fabric. I won't just need one layer either. What I'm thinking is I'll need one layer for obviously the white, right? So I'll need one layer of white to go with this, and that's the outer layer. I'll need one layer of red to go inside here. Can I treat that as the lining layer? I could if I get a thicker red material. I think that'll be okay. Right, so circle skirt's not that hard now that I think about it. It's probably not that hard. When I sew it on, what I probably want to do is I probably want to bunch it up a little bit more towards the front. So the bunching here will give a little bit more fabric here. So I'll also need to look at how I should cut it later. Okay, so that's that. Not terribly difficult. Thing that I'm a little bit more curious about, because I haven't really done anything like it before, is the puffiness that comes with the back of her skirt. As you can tell, that's a bit too dark. As you can kind of tell, I think, you know what, green works. As you can kind of tell, the back of her skirt, kind of puffs out a lot more than one might expect. So as a result of that, what I think I need to do is puffs out the back. Yeah, sorry. I'll need to have like an underskirt, basically. There's a word for it. What's the word for it? It's not an underskirt. It's like a petticoat, I guess. I guess it's a petticoat. Could also just be an underskirt. I think they're interchangeable. I'm gonna believe that they're interchangeable. There's two ways I could do this. The way that I have it for one of my other cosplays, for Madame Red from Black Butler, or Kuroshichi, is that it's a bunch of hoops. So it looks like this. Oops. So it looks like this. 2, 3. And it kind of, these are solid. They're supposed to be metal hoops, but they're just plastic hoops. So obviously when you kind of stand here, right, it gives you that shape, and so your dress can kind of just go over it like this, and it would puff out. The thing that I'm not very fond of with the hoop is that, first of all, it's heavy. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot to yell on my other socials that I am live. So I am live. I hope I'm live. If not, I've just been talking to myself for the past hour. Ow, that would be kind of sad. Right. Come plan cosplay with me. Let me make it a fun color. What's a fun color? I'm gonna go with pink. Come plan cosplay with me. Twitch.tv/Safer Follow me. Ah. Okay. Sorry, I've been quite distracted. Alright, so my experience with the hoop is just that it is heavy. One. Two, I think the back of my leg got a little bit chafed because what ended up happening was it would kind of brush against your legs while you're walking. You can imagine it, right? Your front of your knees are kicking this hoop, the second hoop. The backs of your legs are getting scraped by the third set of hoops. You feel like you're going to die because there are clothes on you, but it feels like there's nothing on you because the hoops are keeping them away. And you apologize every 30 seconds because someone just bumped into your solid plastic hoops. And that kind of hurts, I think. I wouldn't know. I've been the bumper, never the bumpy. So that's one. One is, I shouldn't have erased that. Okay, so that's one, right? The alternative is I just get layers of like two and then just kind of stack it like this. I hope this makes sense. Does this make sense? I think it makes sense. So what you're doing is, because tulle is kind of a very fluffy material in a sense, because it's so fluffy, when you stack layers of it together, it gives you the puffy effect without having the fact that without the fact that you're taking up three people's space all at once. It just looks like you're taking up three people's space, but if someone presses into you, it'll kind of just contract, I think. Now the thing with tulle is that I'm not sure how to work with it because I've never worked with it before, right? I'm wondering, how do you get more volume at the back than the front? Because I think that's how her dress is going. One way I can think of doing it is, okay, like this is a top-down view. If this is your front, right, you have like a little bit, like maybe like 2 layers, on the same row, for example. The back you could have like 3 to 4 maybe on the same row, and then it just gets much larger towards back. Also, because it's a high front dress, so you can't get away with too much tulle here as well. So maybe like 2 layers, for example, and then you just have additional like half layers of tulle on the back. So the front doesn't have it, the back has it, so it gets extra volume while the front doesn't. I think that's one way to balance it out. So to recap, other stuff I need. Tulle. Lots, probably. I might actually need one band or stretchy fabric, probably something stretchy, in order to make like the waistband so I can just kind of slip it on. I think that would be good. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll stick with that. Then I can have a little bit of volume in the front as well. But when there's volume, because it'll curve instead of going straight, I'll need to make the front a bit longer than I actually expected. That should be okay. I'll work on making a petticoat first and then work on the big dress piece later. That's good. I think her stockings are just stockings, so I could probably just get that. This little like holster thing, I suppose. I'm not sure if I want to make it. I'm not sure. That will just be one accessories we can look at later. Now, onto the super fun bit, where we can talk about her bow at the back. I think it's a bow. I'm sure there's a better picture of it somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, this would be really convenient if I had the game, but I don't. So, whoops. Ah, yes, the red underlining that I get. I think I need to get extra to make the little bows on her arms as well. So I'll probably do that. That'll be fun. Yeah. Okay. That bow on the back, bow on the back, bow on the back. The bow on the back doesn't look too difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna base it off this model. From what it looks like, it looks like. Sorry, my model's a bit whack. Okay, new layer. What color? What color? Blue. Bright blue. Bright blue. Okay. What it looks like, it just looks like it's 2 layers worth of ribbons instead of 1. You can kind of see it, right? 2 layers here, 2 layers here, and I imagine that I think instead of having whatever this is, I'd really like to just have like a bow. That's a terrible bow. Yeah, like this. That was really ugly. Yeah, basically like this. So you have a big puffy bow on the back. It looks like it adds volume to it as well because it's just a big bow, right? And if we want to pad out the bow a bit more, we could add whatever these little ruffle things are below it. Like just a couple layers of the same white fabric, I think would be okay. The bow on her back, the bows on her arm, which aren't really visible here. Something like this, right? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. That. Okay. Bows on her arm like this. Something like that, yeah. Are all made out of the same red fabric. I assume that this is made out of. Underlining the underskirt is made out of as well. I need to stop calling it underskirt because underskirt just sounds like petticoat. Okay. We'll just call it underskirt. We'll call the fluffy bit just the petticoat. I think that's okay. Yeah. So I think that's what I have so far. Not too bad of an idea. I just want it to be light because if it's heavy, I get whiny because it's heavy and I don't want to carry heavy things. Alright, hi Cheesy Wings, welcome to stream. Thank you so much for joining. Right, so these are the plans I have so far. Kind of modeling out what I want. Tomorrow I'm gonna go look for the corset boning, this bit here. I'm gonna go ask for suggestions on what this skirt should be made out of, just because it's so massive and I don't want it to be too expensive. That's kind of my goal. It would be nice if the skirt could drag a little bit. So maybe, life hack, the back of the skirt, I'll make the red bit longer. Just because red's kind of a darker color. Hopefully it doesn't stain or get as dirty kind of when you're dragging it on the floor. I'm very picky about that. I'd just be a bit sad if the white were dirty the first time wearing it out. I think that's why I'm also quite particular in trying to make sure that the dress can be washed easily. That would be very nice. Okay, let me just make the background a little bit darker so it's a bit more obvious. Yeah, okay, this is good. This is good. The green is a bit glaring, but you know what? We live with it. We live with it. Yeah. On my back. Okay. Oof. I didn't actually expect to break down her outfit this easily. But that's good. That's good. We're making progress. Okay. So that's it for Shion, I think. Lot faster than I expected. The big boy of I don't know how to do this is, I think, Alphen. Because Alphen is just all armor. It's just all armor. Let's look at it. Right, so there are 2 problems basically. The first problem is what, and the second problem is how. Let's break it down. Man has 2 swords. He has his burning blade, flaming sword, burning something. A sword that burns. Actual name eludes me, but you know what? That's fine. Has a burning thing, right? He has that, and he has a normal sword. The normal sword I'm not worried about because making normal swords easy, right? You just need to get like you just kind of need to get, I think, a some wood or whatever, get it into shape, kind of shave it down, whether you use sandpaper and like sheer willpower and stubbornness, or if you use like a saw that's angled, doesn't really matter. You shave it down, you get the shape, you spray paint it, or you just outright paint it, and then that's it, you're done. The thing is that when the sword is flaming, it implies that it has to glow. What I have not done is I've never looked at how to make things glow, because the characters I cosplay tend to be a bit boring. So I'm going to need to look into that a bit more. That's not my concern right now, because tomorrow is fabric shopping day. So, fabric. Good news and bad news. Good news is that Alphen's completely covered in armor. Bad news is that he's completely covered in armor, and these are anime game physics that we're dealing with. So, the fact that I have no idea how everything is supposed to connect is a problem. Oh, regains his memories. That sounds like a spoiler. I don't know what that means. Whatever. Okay. So we have two images here. I think we can kind of base our design off of. That's good. We always just need a front shot and kind of like a back. I think the back one is quite important. I never played the game. I saw the outfits and I'm like, I want to do that. Yeah, I never played the game. I never played. Yeah, I know. Very unfortunate. I might play it in the future, maybe. Right. Hopefully, I will be motivated to do that. I got a follower this stream. Who did I get? Who are you? Gray? Did you just follow me? Oh well, thank you. Okay. Sorry. Very distracted. Okay, so this is Shion. Shion's one is okay. I'm so excited to try doing the corset thing. I love corsets. They're just so pretty. Okay. Let's move on to... This is the wrong scale. It cannot. It has to be the right scale. I'm gonna delete this artwork. I'm gonna make another one. I think it's... Yes, okay. Okay, great. We're gonna insert a photo, and we're gonna insert this, and we'll deal with this first. So we have our boy, TM. We have our boy, TM. We have our boy in HD, TM. That's good. Sorry, Shion. Don't need you right now, so bye-bye. Okay, we're gonna get rid of her for now. And I think his wig will be fun to play with also. But wigs come way late. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Okay. So since everything's bluish, let's do a purple for contrast. Oh, is it contrast? Okay, fine, it contrasts fairly well. One thing is that he has this amazing blue colored scarf like thing, right? So he has a little scarf thing. So we need to make sure that we have something long enough that can wrap around him like this. Right. Okay, so that's the scarf. That's fine. If you look at the image on the back. Gosh dang it. Okay. If you look at the image on the back, the scarf looks like it hangs back a little bit like it would a hood. So you need quite a bit of extra fabric here. Question is, where does the scarf go? Based on this one very grainy pixel here, it kind of looks like it tucks straight into his armor, which is an interesting thought. So we could do it as two components. One is his scarf tucking into his armor like this, in order to so you know, if whoever the cosplayer is kind of doesn't want to wear the scarf, they could just take it off. Like say photo shoots, if they want a particular image or something, they could do that. Second thought is, it's like a poncho. Not quite sure how to describe it. It's a poncho with extra material on the front as well, so that you'd be able to kind of stick your head through it. So imagine a poncho, right? Like, this a sleeveless poncho, sure. But and it's a really long poncho too. This is terrible. So you kind of stick your head out here, and then there's a whole bunch of extra material, and it goes all the way down, and that's why it sticks out behind him like the cape does. This feels like a waste of fabric, honestly, because I think any elfin cosplayer wouldn't necessarily strip down in the middle of a cosplay or doing a photo shoot. There's no reason for them to. As in, there's no reason for them to do it while having their photos taken or while in a photo shoot. I'm thinking just purely on aesthetics and how you want to manage. I think how you want to manage like the photo taking, because I think that's a really big part of cosplay events, and I'm very excited for it. Okay, so assuming we're doing the 2-part method, one is this is a scarf. We can just tuck in the end here. That's not a big problem. We can just have like, imagine a circle skirt. Like imagine a little skirt or a belt or something. Loops around the cosplayer's waist, and you just have a billowing cape out the back. Which seems to be what's happening here, because there's absolutely nothing on the front. There is no material on the front at all. It's just all the materials coming out from the back. So what I can imagine is something here. I think it always has to sit around the hips, around the waist, just so it's comfortable. And then so you can probably just wear this first and then layer all your armor on top of that. Shouldn't be a problem. Good news is that I don't think Elfin has any really exposed areas. He has little tags, like he has little blue tags here and here, from what I can see, and little like tags here and here, for example, or like here. We can just get excess blue fabric, or what would be even better, what I kind of want to do is I want to get faux leather, like, you know, just fake leather, faux leather, because real leather is expensive. That's already been dyed blue, kind of punch holes in them, because I've always wanted to work with leather. I think it'll be a fun challenge. Yeah, I think I want to do that, and then just kind of tag them to the armor pieces themselves. Yes, that is the plan. So that's really it for a skirt. If you wanted like a cross section of what I think the skirt's gonna look what is little cape, billowing cape, cool, edgy himbo. He sounds like a himbo. I love him. Looks like it's going to be like this. If this is the front, there is no material on it. Imagine a belt. All the material is sewn to the back, and then it just billows out back like this. Nothing in front, all in the back. Yeah, I know. Yep, so that's what I'm thinking for Elfin. Something else that I'm very interested in is, I think, his mask deal, because his mask seems quite interesting to look at. Let's find like a good picture of his face. Hopefully we can find a good picture of his face. Please give me a good picture of Elfin's face. Thank you. This is a good picture, but it's not canon, so no count. Elfin. Come here. This is so cute. I think that's a spoiler. I don't know. Again, there's a big spoiler alert here. This is a decent picture of his face, actually. I'll take it. I think the key thing with doing cosplays is just looking for as many reference pictures as you possibly can. So from what it looks like here, it just kind of looks like it wraps around his head a little bit. I'll take this as well. It looks like it wraps around his head a little bit, which is convenient for us, because that means you don't have to do any fancy cosplay magic in order to try and make it look like it's wrapped, but it's not. Ow, my back. Just old. I'm just old. Yep. So feel like I was supposed to do something else. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna do this, I think. Yep. Okay. This is a good view of, I think, the right side of his face. Right, of course, from his perspective, because that's all that matters right now. We're just gonna cut out his face. Goodbye, Shion. Okay, cool. We got that, and then we got this, which is convenient as well. Gives us a good perspective on the left side of his face, and we can see how the mask kind of connects here. Looks like, no, we're not going to acknowledge that. What? Okay, so let's do this. Copy and paste. Goodbye, background. Okay, so let's take another color. Let's do red for this. Red's a fun color. Okay. So for this, what we can kind of see is that his mask seems to go around his face and his hair in multiple ways. First thing, obviously, is that it kind of breaks here, and then there's a seam line here. So I take this as one panel, I'll take this as another panel. It's very convenient, the game does it for you. This is the third panel. I think this is the big one. I can't tell if this is a strap that kind of goes under his chin and around his ear. It doesn't look like it, so I'll just take it as it kind of ends here. Give it a bit of shape, maybe shape it to the cosplayer's jawline, just to give it like something with a bit of pizzazz, if you will. Like this, for example. And then we have the bit that actually holds it to the face, what I assume would be holding it to the face. You can even see here, I think, it's quite clear that it's a fairly thick piece of material. Of course, when you do it in cosplay, you don't want it to look thick at all, because then it just looks kind of clunky. What am I doing? Yeah. You don't really want to make it look super clunky when you're cosplaying. Alright. So I think this kind of wraps around the back and then goes towards the other side where it meets. Now let's look at the other side. Okay, so we have this. And then we have what we thought was the center panel. Sorry, the center seam. This can be a center seam. Again, the material looks really thick. We're not really gonna... yeah, here. Here you can see very clearly, I think, that it doesn't connect to anything. That's why it's really important to... Hello! That's why it's really important to get multiple perspectives of whatever you're trying to plan out for. Thank you for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. Okay, back to this. So, assuming that we're kind of following the strategy we've worked out for the right side, we're just going to modify it a little bit. Let's just pretend that there's a secondary, that this is the first panel that we're going to see for the mask. Let's just pretend that there's a second panel like here, basically connecting to this, and connecting to what we can see here. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down we can break it down further, I think, when we're actually looking. I need a 3D model for this, so it might take a little bit more time before I can do this properly, but that's okay. What we're doing now is you have this other panel, what goes around his other ear, and you have these cool little designs on it. Elfin's funky boy. And then you can see, I think quite clearly, it goes around the back of it probably goes around the back of his head. So following that logic, I think it's probably like, we don't get a good shot of the back of his head. Okay, so if this is the back of his head, and then like, you know, oh boy. I think what we can assume is that it kind of, like, if these are his bleh. Sorry. If these are his ears, right? Change. Okay. These are his ears. They kind of go back like this, and then they probably go, at least some of it goes into a band here, and then the rest of it kind of touches like this. So the cosplayer would be able to probably just kind of put it on, like head on, and then pull the parts of the wig out and over it. The thing about this is that you need a decent quality wig. I know the cheap wigs are fun to play with and all that, but one thing is that when you style them, it's really hard, especially if you try and use heat. Two is that sometimes they're really thin, so that could be another problem that you're just forced to deal with on cosplay day, which you really don't want to. Something else that we could do that could be, it could work, it could come and bite us in the ass, we'll see, is these bits here, right? I want to explore the possibility of using these bits as kind of connector points, where you can Velcro them together, because I heckin' love Velcro. you can kind of just get a little piece of Velcro here and then stick it onto here and just kind of pull off the entire mask when you're done. It's creative liberty. I'm just going to say that this panel goes over both panels. So you could Velcro here, pull off the thing when you're done. One problem I can foresee this is obviously this is a big crack that could just kind of look a bit wonky in pictures. But if you're posing for pictures anyways, you should be able to just kind of run your hand across it and just make sure that it's nice and flat before you do anything. Same thing here with this piece. Or maybe this piece. This piece might be better. This is a long time yet, so we don't have to deal with are those clothes under the... Is he not just wearing armor? Is he wearing clothes? Oh my god, is he wearing... I think he's wearing clothes. Okay. The person who cosplays this probably just needs to get like a high collared shirt, because I see this bit of collar kind of poking out his scarf. The scarf, oh, it's so textured, so nice. It'd be good to get a thicker material for it. Something thick but like soft, kind of contrast with the very edgy kind of grainy material that I think I'm going to try and go for with the armor. Yeah. I think those are the big things that I kind of want to focus on for now. So in terms of fabric, which is what we're supposed to be focused on, even though I'm very distracted, Alphonse is much simpler than what we had for Shion's. Let's go look at Shion's again. Here we are. Okay. So now we can just take some time to, I think, explore what good corsets bodices are made out of. What are they made out of? What corset bodice made of? Whalebone, horn, buckram. No, we can just use plastic bones. We don't need that. This is a historical site. No wonder I'm kidding. What are corset tops made of? Plastic. Okay. Plastic works definitely. Bleh. Uses. Okay. Okay. Typically held together by lacing at the back. Lacing could be interesting. It could just naturally give, I think, a shape and just kind of help whoever's the cosplayer to fit into the outfit, I think, a lot easier than it might be if you use like just the zipper. So I think I could consider lace as well. But then you have to punch in the eyelets, which I'm not too sure about. I'm not sure how to do that. I need to think about that a little bit. Okay. Okay. What fabric corset panels? What is coutil? That's COUTIL. I don't know this. Oh, so interesting. Very little stretch on the panels, and it will prevent the bones from poking through. It is usually made with 100% cotton. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Artist canvas is apparently an alternative that people use. I didn't think about that. I mean, that's not too bad. I think artist canvas could be interesting. You could probably just, for example, if this were the corset panel, you could use artist canvas or coutil. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Coutil or artist panel as kind of the actual strong foundation layer, and then on top of it, you could just kind of layer, I think, like the material of your choice. So I think, let's say it would be really fun, I think, if I used, say, like white canvas or something for the actual structure, and then layered white lace over it. I really want lace detail because I think it would look pretty good. It would look pretty interesting. How will canvas feel on my skin? I don't know. Mesh. Okay. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. You can cover your corset with anything, with cotton, silk taffeta, and velvet, which is interesting, and lining. Okay, I think lining would be quite nice. Lining would be quite nice to just kind of make it a little bit more comfortable to. Okay, I found a very useful website. I will just use that then. Don't need steel boning. I think yeah, just plastic corsetry boning. So plastic boning. Cotil / artist canvas. Interesting. Some sort of lining, I guess. Yes. And then I want something nice for this, so I'll go and inquire about that tomorrow. Yeah, folks, I think we have it. We have the materials for a corset. I'm gonna ask tomorrow what we can do with the skirt. Get all the lining, at least gather some tulle, I think, to try and make like a nice puffy petticoat underneath it. And then gather some other materials. Maybe get some samples for colors and just see how they match. That would be good. I'm very excited to look at, I think, Alphen's potential for, especially a scarf. It's such a nice blue. I don't want to just go and pick out the first fabric. I'd like it to be quite, I think, a thick material, like fairly thick, so it kind of fluffs up when it scrunches together, if that makes sense. So it scrunches up really nicely when the person wears it, and it won't kind of just and deflate the moment they put it on, which would be quite unfortunate. Get quite a bit of length for that. Good news is I think the scarf can be made quite roughly. The part I'm terrified of is roughing up the edges, especially for I think Alphen's cape at the back, and then you have Shion's dress skirt as well. Let's just pull up the reference image. Yeah, I'm very worried about that. But we'll see how it goes. I think it's best if I just make the dress first, and then like all the accoutrement, the foam and the gold and everything, breastplates, pauldrons, come later. One step at a time. If not, I guarantee I'd probably be quite overwhelmed. Okay. So this is much more progress than I thought we'd make in a single night, so that's good. We have ideas for the corset, how to make it. I had found tutorial online. Have ideas for the petticoat, so you just need tulle. I've written that down. Need plastic boning. Need artist canvas. What else do we need? Oh yes, sorry, we need lining. So let me just take that down as well. I think once we get lining, and then we can get like some lace. I think some lace would be good, but there's obviously a lot of different kinds of lace. I think I'd want one type of lace for the corset here, and I'd want one type of lace if I were to do it for just, I think, down the arms. Like it just covers everywhere, so it's straight down the arms, all across the shoulders, and across her back as well, I think. Let me take a look at that. Yes, it looks like it covers her back, so it seems like it might be a little bit uncomfortable. Oh, sorry, it doesn't cover all the front. It just kind of goes, sorry, her front just kind of looks like this, so it stops, I think, where there's a little bit of exposed area here, and it stops where her giant, like, high neck necklace is. So I think that'll be a convenient stopping point as well. If we can't do lace, I don't think that would be a terrible loss. If we can't do lace, we could always just do some other substitute, some other like see-through mesh kind of thing. It just feels terrible on your arms. Like it's itchy, it's uncomfortable. If that doesn't work, what I could see us doing is you just wear high gloves. And then you could kind of have like a little loose capelet that goes here. kind of like mine right now. And you just tuck it under the armbands, the off shoulder bits of the dress, so it's not actually stuck to your skin like you put it on. Not opposed to wearing long gloves. I think that'll be okay. Or you could just get lace gloves. I think they sell those quite cheaply online. Could look at that as well. I don't want to make gloves, man. Drawing hands hard enough. Look, no hands. Drawing hands are hard enough. I don't want to make gloves, so I think that's the one thing I'll kind of cut corners on. The rest of it, I'm very excited for. I will post updates on my Twitter, so go follow that. Okay. Have we accomplished our goal? Have we managed to look through everything? I think we have. Okay. Let's see. Shion and Alphen. Okay. So I think when we stream next, I'll probably go through how I want to break down Alphen's armor. The sheer amount of foam, EVA foam that I'm gonna need. A lot. The answer is a lot. I hope I can get like a bulk discount. The guys seem pretty nice when I call them, so maybe there's that. I was hoping I could get bigger sheets of foam as well, but that's okay. EVA foam can be shaped to the heat gun, so I'm very excited for that. Right. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining and hopping onto the stream. Please follow and go follow my Twitter. Everything's linked in the description. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow probably. Bye.